Welcome to this new tutorial where we will be using our RPC from Quicknode and its NFT API to display in a Flutter application all the NFTs from our wallet. Today we will be using the Flutter Solana login repository that we created in our previous tutorial. If you haven't followed it yet, we'll leave you a link in the description. There we created a small Flutter app that allows us to create or import a seed phrase and through a password login to see our wallet address and balance. Today we will be adding a tab to view our NFTs within the app. Let's go to the Flutter Solana login repository, link in the description, and copy the address this way. And in VS Code, we will run git clone with the address we have copied. Let's run flutter pub get to get our dependencies, and we will create at the root of the project a env file where we will place these two variables that will take our RPC from Quicknode through which we can access the NFT API. And in one of the variables, we will modify the HTTPS for WSS. Now we are going to create a models folder, and inside it, we will create the NFT file to define an NFT class with the parameters that we will be receiving through Quicknode's NFT API. At the address you see on the screen, we can access the documentation on how to build a fetch to interact with this API. If we go to requibin.com, we can easily test our API. In the address, we will place our Quicknode RPC. In the content, we will copy from the API documentation the Json with all the parameters required by the NFT API to work. And in the wallet parameter, we will place our wallet address that has two NFTs in the Solana DevNet. Now in the headers tab, we will place these two headers as shown in the documentation. And we send the request, and we can look at the response we get. We have a JSON with result attribute that contains an assets attribute with a list for each NFT in the account, where the following parameters are received for each NFT: name, collection name, token address, collection address, image URL, blockchain, creators, which will be a list, the network, that in our case is the DevNet, and a description. We can see in the request body and omit field parameter that we will use to filter the information we will not use in our app. For the example we will do today, we will only use the NFT name, the image URL, and the NFT description. Therefore, we would include in the omit field all these parameters: collection name, token address, collection address, chain, network, creators, and we send the request, and we can look at the response we get. If we copy one of these objects from the asset list and go to a tool to convert JSON to a dark class, like for example JSON to dark, we can paste the data from our object this way, and we will give it the name NFT, and so we get our Dart class. We copy the code and paste it into our NFT Dart file, and so we will have the necessary functions to correctly receive the data from the Quicknode NFT API in our app. We are going to create a services folder where we will create the NFT API file. We start by importing the libraries we will use, and we will create our function that will return a future of type NFT list. We import the NFT class that we have created as follows. The function will be called fetch NFT and will receive as a parameter the address of our account. We define the Quicknode URL that we will read from our env file. Now we will create a headers object with the header as required by the documentation. For the body of a request, we will use a JSON encode to which we will pass the parameters as we did it in requibin, but placing the wallet address received by our function in the wallet parameter. And we proceed to create the HTTP post request with our URL, body, and headers. If a successful response is obtained, we will continue with the function. Otherwise, we will interrupt it with "this could not fetch" message. We have left to decode the response with the JSON decode function for the response body. Then we will take from there the content of the assets parameter inside the result parameter, and we will save it as a dynamic type list. In case any of the parameters do not exist, our list will be initialized empty. And now we will use the map function to take each of the entries in the assets data list and call the from JSON that we have available for the NFT class, which will convert it into an instance of the NFT class that we'll be saving in a list. In this way, we have a list of NFT instances in our NFTs variable that we will return to whoever calls this function. We already have our fetch NFTs set up. And now we will create the UI to display the account's NFTs in our app. On the home page, we are going to place this card widget right between the balance and logout. This bool shown expanded is used, which we will declare and initialize to false to hide and expand the NFT list, and also to update the expand and collapse icon. If this variable is true, then we will display the information sent to us by the Quicknode API with the account NFTs. We start with a single child scroll view, so the list can be scrollable, and a container with a height of 200 pixels. We will create the list through a future builder, which will call the fetch NFTs function. And while the connection status is waiting, a circular progress bar will be displayed. If there's any error in the information obtained by the function, the error will be displayed. And if everything is correct, we save the data received in a variable NFTs. Remember that our function sends a list of NFT instances. Then we will create this list, which will have the number of items in the list +1. To place an update button in our item builder function. If the list comes in null, we will only display the update button. Otherwise, we will build each item in the list, assigning to a variable NFT and displaying in a list tile that will have as title the name of the NFT, subtitle the description, and in the image, we will display the image we get in the image field of the NFT objects. If this is not received, we place this placeholder. Finally, as the last item in list, we will place our update button that calls the fetch NFTs function to update the data. Let's run our app and see that our card widget has been created correctly with its update button. Now we have imported an account with several DevNet Solana NFTs. And we see how they are displayed correctly in a scrollable list. We hope this video is motivating you to keep developing. If you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments. Subscribe for more. Until next time.